Madison's a highly educated town with the university and the government, and we have a lot of conversations about equity and about diversity. When you have people who think of themselves, or the city thinks of itself as progressive, but the reality is that our African American students in Madison are performing below the African American students in Milwaukee, Racine, Kenosha, Beloit. Below. I think most people would think we would be doing at least a little better than Milwaukee, but we're not.
Hi, I'm Jacoby McGee. I'm president of Black Student Union at Madison Memorial. I'm a senior, and post-high school I plan on going to school for pre-med.
Was that this one?
To prove all these teachers wrong who told me I would never be anything in life, to prove society wrong, one on the achievement gap and one going to college, I just kept myself motivated.
I need to return this degree. My locker is really dirty, so just there's a lot of just go.
I tried my hardest. I would always think to myself, like, I'm not going to get to college, slacking. If I got a 90% on the test, I was trying to get 100%. And I did that by staying after school a lot. I signed up for tutoring, stayed with the teachers all the time, and lunch.
Yeah, Jacoby's a young lady that I've had in my classes all 4 years. So started as a freshman, attendance was an issue. I think the importance of school was in question. And she's grown into a young woman that has a pretty good idea of what she wants to do down the road. She wants to further her education. She wants to make a difference in the world and other people's lives. And that was so different from when she was a freshman.
Like, I was all about school in middle school, and I was trying my hardest, and like one day I got into, like, my friends got into an altercation with one of the teachers there, and the teacher ended up calling me illiterate. And I was thinking, like, me illiterate? Like, how am I illiterate? Like, I'm like this most hardworking girl in this class. Like, I try my hardest, I work hard, like, I get all A's on the test. Like, how dare you call me illiterate? So it was like, that was really heartbreaking for me, and I ran home crying to my mom, and my mom was really upset because she knows, I was like, I will always try hard in middle school. I wanted to prove those teachers wrong, the teachers that called me illiterate, the teachers who said I wasn't going to be anything, and I wanted to show them that I was going to be. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how parallel park though. That I just failed.
That's a D. You're gonna need to know that.
The nature pass with 12 points
What?
out of 30.
What?
I'm taking my job test soon.
You may want to practice how to parallel park.
Yeah.
And somebody else time.
And
somebody else time.
somebody else. Uncle Nat. If we could get it.
The problems I had in Madison was trying to prove, sadly, to my teachers and to my school that I wasn't gonna be, living off government assistance, or I wasn't gonna be just working at a fast food restaurant. I wanted to be someone, and I was gonna be someone. I wanted to go to college. So I guess the hardest thing for me growing up in Madison was just trying to prove myself to the people who I thought I would never have to try to prove myself to.
No. Say. Call me. Are you find out?
When you tell kids that you have a small likeliness of being able to go to college, get a degree, and be successful. When you tell kids that there's a thing called white privilege, and that the white people have all the privilege and you have nothing. When you tell kids those things, imagine the impact on their self-esteem. Imagine the impact on the hope that they may have had before knowing those things. Because the way they're thinking from an oppressive standpoint. They're thinking that no matter what I do, I'm not going to succeed. That's what they're thinking. And no one is coming to them and telling them the stories of love, the stories of redemption, the stories of change, the stories of success.
I love the... Mr. Spencer, you can't do that. Oh, you shouldn't have said that. You said the worst four-letter word that I know. What is it? Can't. Because can't limits everyone's potential if they allow it to be in their vocabulary. I'll prove you wrong if you don't think I can do that. Okay? And you turn that attitude and you say, I don't know how I'm going to do this yet, but let's go. I'm going to give it everything I got. Okay?
All right, so I met Mr. Spencer my freshman year. However, like my freshman year was not a good start for me. I was like always in trouble, and all the teachers will always just put me down like, this is why you're never going to be anything in life, and this is why you're never going to succeed because you're always in trouble, you're always in the office. But Mr. Spencer was just like, look, sweetheart, I know you're going through a rough time, and I know that, you know, there's going to be more to come for you. Just push through it with me, and whatever you need, I'll get it for you. I'll be there, your support. And then ever since then, like, that was like the first teacher in Memorial High School that supported me, and I just stuck with him for the rest of like school year. Like, whenever I needed someone to talk to and no one else was available, I would always go to him. Or if I needed a like problem outside of school, like, I would always go to him, and he was always give me like the best advice. He's just always been there for me.
I think if teachers did a better job of treating each kid as opposed to just a person sitting in a chair, I think that goes a long ways. You know, do kids get the impression that the teacher really cares about them? If that comes across to a student, I think students work harder.
We focus very rarely on the positive in the midst of all of the, you know, the disparities and everything else. And so it's very hard to change a narrative when you continue to perpetuate the same stories and you give them the same exposure to those outcomes and make that their reality. Essentially, we would have to gut that whole system, go back to the drawing board, and change the way we relay information, how we educate, how we approach education, how we approach them as people.
I learned that the achievement gap was a big issue in not only the Madison area, but the Wisconsin area as a whole. And I've just learned that in order for that to be fixed, we as peers, we're going to have to help each other out.
Final reminders, ACT Prep starts this Saturday.
We have a system in BSU that we learned in the past. It's called Mom and Pops. Pretty much just looking out for one another. If we see one of our black members or black friends, you know, not doing too good in school, we're supposed to at least try. We're supposed to be like, hey man, you know where you're supposed to be, where you're supposed to be. Get there, like you need any help with anything. Not that we're better than them, but we don't want to see each other fall, and we have to find a way to pick each other up.
And I think as they get older in middle school and high school, and it starts to have meaning for them, and they start looking around and thinking, where do I fit in the ecosystem here, and how do I fit in with what's going on? They need success stories to help form counter narratives and understand that they don't have to succumb to what those numbers would say.